Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, a lot of Islam is learning about boundaries and boundaries of information. So, in Islam, it's more about how and who you share information with than sharing it with everybody. For example, like physically, we as Muslimahs wear hijab because this is a sign of our commitment to Allah, because He told us that it is good for us to cover ourselves, but also commitment to our spouses. And covering is like a boundary of information. Those outside of immediate family, not including non-blood relatives, but anyone outside of your husband and your family, they don't get to see you for who you are completely. Just as when you meet somebody in public and a complete stranger, you don't tell them everything about you. So it's a similar boundary of information. And in Islam, it's also encouraged for women to be niqabis. Niqab is where you only see the eyes and, what little of the forehead. And I haven't been comfortable as a niqabi, not because of, not understanding the reasons behind it. Again, it's just another layer of protection and another layer of a boundary of information, that those outside of your family, your spouse, they don't get to have that information. It's that level of privacy that protects you. And similarly, you don't just tell anyone your innermost thoughts or your controversial thoughts or anything like that is personally important to you, because one, they might not care and might continue to or start disrespecting you because of your thoughts or beliefs, and two, like, they also might use it against you, like how people gossip and what in Islam is called backbiting. When you talk about people behind their backs, this is a very evil and just unnecessary negativity that just doesn't need to be out there. And by guarding the information that you give about yourself and guarding yourself physically as well, it's like less ammunition for whoever may be against you. And in Islam, we also believe in what's called like the evil eye, where, all prayers are heard by Allah, and it's Allah's will on which prayers are accepted. And if someone is praying against you, there's no guarantee that that prayer won't be answered. So having these boundaries of information are very important, because you are protecting yourself from possible harm. But again, as niqabis, I always respect these Muslims so much because they have that further boundary of information. They have that further perspective and understanding that no, this is a part of me that everyone else doesn't get. Everyone else doesn't get to see this beautiful part of me. Only those who are dear to me, only those who I respect, who respect me, get to see this part of me. And I think that's just such a beautiful way of not only respecting yourself, but showing that respect to others. Like, if I respect you, if I trust you, then you see this part of me. Whereas anyone outside, they don't have that right. And so protecting yourself by niqab is such like a beautiful act of like just love for Allah and his like wisdom in protecting ourselves, but also a love for your own self. And again, like anyone who is a niqabi, anyone who's a hijabi, anyone who like only wears hijab during prayer, everyone is still Muslim. Everyone is practicing in the way that their heart, that their relationship with Allah feels right. And of course, people can encourage other Muslims to wear hijab and give the reasons. But like me, for instance, I wasn't a hijabi right away. It took me about 6 or 7 months after becoming Muslim to become a hijabi because I needed to internalize, understand, and reflect on the reasons for hijab and also like understand what was the purpose, like, and what wearing a hijab would do. Because when you wear a hijab, one, it's like the easiest way someone can recognize you as Muslim. And two, that means all of your actions are immediately going to be associated with Islam. Whether or not they are Islamic acts, whether or not they are good acts, they are immediately, subconsciously or consciously, going to be associated with Islam because you're a hijabi. So that amount of responsibility that I have to Islam as a whole, as like, this is the image of Islam that I'm presenting, like, it's a lot. And it's a huge responsibility because wearing a hijab is like that first act of the day that says, yes, I am Muslim, hear me roar. Not really, but you know what I mean. And yeah, so like, I haven't made that step towards niqabi yet because of, you know, that extra responsibility, that extra reasoning. And also, it's freaking hot in Bangladesh. And like, only now am I like becoming more open to becoming a niqabi because, well, I understand it more, but also it's winter time, or winter time to me, because the weather is finally cool enough in Bangladesh that I can freely enjoy wearing a niqab without suffocating. And yeah, so this is the first like hijab niqab combo that I got. And what's awesome is that it's super light and like it has a good shape to it so that like it won't slip or slide. And then the niqab part is attached. So like, this was part of the problem with niqab that I had, was it's another piece of fabric that I have to keep track of. And I am not always the most minded person, i.e. very absent-minded. So like a mask or any other piece of fabric that is not attached to my person, I forget. So, that was like the first thing where I was like, yes, finally, something that's attached. So yeah, it's just attached as like an extra piece of fabric, and you just pull it up and just tie it off in the back. Ta-da! And niqab. Plus, it's still long enough that it like provides ample coverage, so it's comfortable and really nice. And again, light material. So as I wear this during the winter time, wearing it in the summertime, inshallah, will be easier. But yeah, I really like it. Also, if I don't want to wear niqab at whatever moment, I can just take it down and tie it around my neck. So then again, it's just an extra floofy, frilly layer. So now it's almost like a style choice. And still is great. Like, I'm still hijabi, everything's still good, and I'm covered. But yeah, I'm just stoked because, like, getting niqab is like one step closer for me in my heart, in Islam, my journey, but also like in remembering Allah. And inshallah, it'll help me overcome my shortcomings and also like resist the trials that I'm going through and the temptations that I'm going through. And it's something that like acts as a reminder every day, like, hey, you chose Islam, so you better act like it. And this is something that I like really appreciate about being a Muslim, is that I chose it, and it's not something that I was born with or raised into. So I have a very strong appreciation for the religion itself among all the religions that I researched. But like Islam being my choice, it's like it fulfills something more because I did the research. I did as much as I could to understand before making the decision to become Muslim. And yeah, this niqab step is just another step, inshallah, forward, closer to Allah, closer to becoming a better Muslim for myself. And inshallah, that means becoming a better Muslim for my husband and my family and just in my journey. So yeah, I'm just excited and I wanted to share. But yeah, so niqab, super stoked. And plus it looks really cool, not gonna lie. And also it has a very strong advantage in Bangladesh with all of the pollution. So it's like I don't even need a mask. I have mask built in, which is cool. But yeah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May Allah keep you happy, healthy, and safe.